dramatic scene caught on camera this weekend in San Bernardino. Immigration agents seen shattering glass windows before an officer fired shots on Saturday. The people inside that car telling us they drove away in fear. The incident remains under investigation, but we were wondering, what should people do if DHS tries to make contact with them while they're inside their vehicle?
You have a certain number of rights when you are contacted by law enforcement. Eyewitness News reporter Annabelle Munoz spoke with a legal expert to get those answers. Annabelle.
Mark and Michelle, human rights and immigrants' rights groups continue raising concerns about the tactics and actions of federal agencies. The attorney we spoke with today stresses that people have constitutional rights if stopped in a situation like this one. Federal immigration officers have targeted people in vehicles. Over the weekend in Anaheim, they arrived at a Home Depot, and according to witnesses,
it looked like they were just going after day laborers who were here, and people were being yanked out of vehicles.
In San Bernardino, the CBP officer fired his gun during another vehicle stop. In that case, the family says masked officers did not identify themselves before breaking their car windows. One punches through the glass. DHS argues the driver struck two officers and that shots were fired in self-defense, which we cannot clearly see in this video. The incident raises questions about what to do if someone is stopped by federal agents while in a car.
Questions being raised tonight about an unprecedented message to the military's top brass. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth outlining his vision to reshape the military, and President Trump suggesting they use, quote, dangerous American cities as training grounds for the military.
He has since sent troops to other American cities, and it has raised a lot of concern about where he is going with this. Today, he said there's an invasion from within in the United States, and the U.S. military should train their forces against U.S. citizens. He said this in front of 800 generals and admirals summoned to Quantico, Virginia by the U.S. Secretary of Defense. Hegseth also continued his war on what he calls woke ideology in the military and said physical requirements for women will be the same as they are for men, which is already the case. But it was something the president said today that raised a lot of concern.
San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war too. It's a war from within. I told Pete we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military.
The idea of sending U.S. troops to train on the U.S. population, the very people the military is sworn to protect, drew immediate condemnation.
Individuals that are asked for permission to enter private property, including a vehicle, should not consent.
Attorney Sergio Perez, executive director of the Center for Human Rights and Constitutional Law, says that absent a judicial warrant, federal authorities need reasonable suspicion to stop a car and probable cause to search it. He says you can ask why you've been stopped and remain silent.
There is no benefit to answering the questions of an ICE or federal official, especially one who is masked and who has not identified themselves as such. But even if they do identify themselves, the Constitution gives you the right to remain silent.
Perez also cautions that given cases like this one in San Bernardino, staying calm is also important.
Take stock of the situation that you are in and act accordingly. Anything that you do can escalate the situation.